Yes, class, we will start with the sums of exercise 6.5 now. The first sum says find the maximum and minimum values, if any, of the following functions. So, the first sum, let us discuss the first part. The function is given f of x is equal to 2x minus 1 whole square plus 3. I will explain it in two methods. First, we will use the general concept of our functions. What does it mean? Now, if I look at the function 2x minus 1 whole square plus 3, it is the square value, right? And the square of anything cannot be negative. So, I know this 2x minus 1 whole square, it is always greater than or equal to 0. It can be 0 when this 2x minus 1 term is 0, otherwise it will always be positive. And if I add this 3 to the both sides, that means 2x minus 1 whole square plus 3, it will always be greater than or equal to 3. That means the whole function, this 2x minus 1, so what is this? This is our function. It is always greater than or equal to 3. So whatever be the value of x, right, except one particular value, the function will always be greater than 3. And when it is equal to 3, if I make this value, that means this term, the bracket term, if I make it 0, then I am getting is at 3. So what does it mean? It means the function is always increasing function. So I cannot find the maximum value here. So I will write down no maximum value, but we can find the minimum value. What will be the minimum value? I will write down here for minimum value. When it will get the minimum value, if 2x minus 1, it becomes 0. When it is becoming 0, when x is equal to 1 by 2. That means if x is 1 by 2, I substitute here, it will become, this term will become 0, and the minimum value that we are getting is 3. So the minimum value 2x minus 1 3, that is minimum value of f of x is 3. This is just we have done with our concept of function, because we know that it is a square function which can't be negative, plus 3 term is there. So fx will be 3, that is the least value of the function when this term 2x minus 1 becomes 0. And as I put different values of x except x 1 by 2, the value of this term will keep on increasing because of the square function. But if you don't want to go by this method, then we have the other way. Whatever function is given here, 2x minus 1 whole square plus 3, we will just find its derivative, right? So the derivative power in front, reduce the power by 1 into derivative of 2x minus 1, it will be 2, and here the derivative of 3 is 0. So it is coming 4 into 2x minus 1. This is our derivative. Now for the critical point, what we will do? We will equate the derivative to 0, and when I equate the derivative to 0, 4 can't be 0. That means 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So the value of x is 1 by 2. If you notice here also, the value of x is 1 by 2, right? Critical point is calculated. Now we have to check either this is the point of local maxima or local minima, or this is the point at which we are getting the maximum value or minimum value. We have two ways. The easy way is, instead of taking the intervals, I will just find the second order, because this function is differentiable twice. Since here we have the x, so I can differentiate here. So what we will do? We will find the second order derivative. If this is f dash x, what will be the second order derivative? 4 is constant, it will remain as such, into the derivative of 2x minus 1, that is 2. 4 into 2 is 8, it is always greater than 0. What does it mean? So here even there is no need to put the value of x 1 by 2. So we can say that is f double dash 1 by 2 is also greater than 0. Either you put the value of x here or no, because no x is there. So it is always greater than 0. So we can say f double dash at 1 by 2 is positive. That means 1 by 2 is the point of local minima. So what is the minimum value? If we put this 1 by 2 in the function, I'm repeating, we have taken the function, differentiated once, and then equated the derivative to 0 to get the critical point. We get the critical point as 1 by 2. After this, we will check if can I differentiate the function once more. Yes, we can do. So the second order derivative is coming 8. There is no x and 8 is always greater than 0. That means second order derivative will be greater than 0 even at 1 by 2 also. So if second order derivative is greater than 0, so what we will say, that is 1 by 2 is the point, 1 by 2 is the point of local minima, because second order derivative is coming positive. And what is the local minimum value? That local minimum value will be given by f of 1 by 2. So in the function we will put as x 1 by 2, that means 2 1 by 2 minus 1 here whole square plus 3. 2 into 1 by 2 is 1, 1 minus 1 square 0, so 0 plus 3, that is 3. So what is the local minimum value? It is 3. So the same thing, we got local minimum value as 3 in the previous method also. So I am not asking you to follow this rule. You can do it with the help of second order derivative test also. Even all the parts of this first sum you can do with the help of second order derivative, right? Let us do here one more part. Let us do the third part here. The third part says the function we are having as minus of x minus 1 whole square plus 10, right? So what we will do, just find the first order derivative. Minus power in front, reduce the power by 1 into derivative of x minus 1 is 1 only, derivative of 10 is 0. So what we are getting here, minus 2x plus 2, right? And now for the critical point, we will equate the derivative to 0, right? We will equate the derivative to 0. That means what we are getting, the derivative minus 2x plus 2, if I equate it to 0, so what we are getting here, the value of x. What will be the value of x here? So minus x plus 1, that means the value of x is here 1 only, right? And now we will check we will find here first of all second order derivative. What is the second order derivative? First order derivative is minus 2x plus 2, so the second order derivative will be minus 2. And f double dash x is, if it is minus 2, and that means it is always negative, even at when x is 1 then also it is negative. So I can write down f double dash 1, this is also minus 2, negative. Don't think why we are writing it as, because there is no x to substitute. So then also we can show that f double dash at 1 is also negative. Since it is negative, if the second order derivative is negative, we will say that is x equals to 1 is the point of local maxima. So local maximum value, what will be the maximum value? The maximum value will be given by f of 1. That means that 1 we will substitute in the function. So 1 minus 1 square 0. So the maximum value will be 10 here. This is how we will do the sum. You can complete your first sum. Second sum is a bit different here because the modulus function is given. So I will apply the first method that I explained, the first sum, first part here, and you will find it easy when we are applying this method in sum number 2. How we are going to do, because we know the definition of modulus function, we know the definition of sine, that means we know the domain and the range of these functions. So let us do few parts here. We have to find the maximum and minimum values of the following functions, if any, given by. So let us take the first function. The first function is modulus of x plus 2 minus 1. Since this is a modulus function and we know that modulus function will always give you greater than or equal to 0 value only, right? It will always be positive. When it will be 0? When x is minus 2. We all know it. And if I have this minus 1, if I add minus 1 or I subtract 1 from both sides, then what we will get? Modulus of x plus 2 minus 1 greater than equal to minus 1. What does it mean? That means the value of this function, now this is a function, right? That is f of x is always greater than or equal to minus 1. So the value will always be greater than minus 1, right? So maximum value we cannot find here once again. As I keep on putting different values of x to infinity, the value of this modulus will keep on increasing till infinity, and infinity minus in 1 will again remain infinity only, right? But it is becoming equal to minus 1 when? So we will say there is no maximum value, but minimum value, what will be the minimum value? But the minimum value, because fx is getting the minimum value minus 1, minimum value is minus 1. How we are getting minus 1? Again, if I equate this, if I say modulus x plus 2, when it will be 0? When x is equals to minus 2, right? So modulus x plus 2 is 0 when x is equal to minus 2. That is, if I put here minus 2 plus 2 minus 1, so this is mod 0 minus 1. So the least value that I am getting is minus 1. That is why greater than or equal to sign is there. So either you show this step or you don't do. It's clear from this sign itself that fx will always be greater than minus 1. But when it is equal to minus 1, that means what is the least value of fx? It is minus 1. And how we are getting? When this mod x plus 2 is equal to 0. So the maximum value is not there, but the minimum value is minus 1. Similarly, you people can do the second part. I will explain here one more part. Let us do the third part. The function is given here, trigo function sine of 2x plus 5. Now we all know the range of sine function. What is the maximum value sine take? It is plus 1. And what is the minimum value sine takes? It is minus 1, right? So we can write down here sine 2x. It is always will be less than 1 and greater than minus 1, right? Now if I add 5 to both sides, that means I want to make it the function. I will add sine 2x plus 5, here also minus 1 plus 5, here also 1 plus 5. So what we are getting? Plus 4 less than f of x, less than 6. So here this particular function is having the minimum value also, and it is having the maximum value also. So this is the minimum value the function is taking, and this is the maximum value the function is taking, right? So you people can complete sum number 2 by this method, by just using the concept of different functions that are given here. So basically modulus function and trigo functions are given that you can do, right? Sum number 3 onwards, or in sum number 3 all the parts, we will follow the second order derivative test. So let us do 1 or 2 parts of sum number 3. Third sum, the first is easy, so let us do the second part. In the second part, function is given gx. It is x cube minus 3x. So according to the method, what we will do? First of all, we will find the derivative. The derivative is 3x square minus 3. Okay, so now for the critical points, we will equate the derivative to 0. That means what we will get here, 3x square minus 3 is 0. So 3 is there, x square minus 1 is 0. 3 can't be 0, that means x square is equal to 1. So the value of x we are getting plus minus 1. That means we are getting here 2 critical points, plus 1 and minus 1. No points are given, means the no interval is given. So what we will do? We will take these two numbers on the number line, plus 1 and minus 1 on the number line, and we will check the sign of the derivative. Okay, so we will take the points on the number line minus infinity to infinity. The point is -1 and the other point is +1. Okay, so here what is the derivative that we have got? G dash x was 3x square minus 3. So 3 is common. This is x square minus 1. Okay, so you can do here one more thing. Instead of checking this, because it will take the long time, if I just do it with the second order derivative test, you people find it, I think, much more easier. I will explain this also. Let us do it with the help of second order derivative test first of all, because it is differentiable, right? So let us find the second order derivative, g double dash x. What will be g double dash x? 3 is constant, and here the derivative of x square will be 2x. So what we are getting here? 6x. We are getting here two critical points. The critical points were +1 and -1. At these two critical points, we will check the sign of second order derivative. So first of all, g double dash -1. That means when I put x is equals to -1, I am getting here -6, so it is negative. What does it mean? It means -1 is the point of local maxima, right? And what is the maximum value? And the maximum value will be given by g of -1. So what is the function g of -1? Whatever function is given, the function was x cube minus 3x. So here we will put -1 cube minus 3 into -1. That is -1 plus 3. So the maximum value will be 2. Now at the other critical point also we have to check. We will say now g double dash 1. What is g double dash 1 coming? 6 into 1, that is 6, positive. So second order derivative is positive. What does it mean? X is equals to 1 is the point of local minima, and the minimum value, what is the minimum value? Minimum value will be g of 1. G of 1 means 1 cube minus 3 into 1, that is 1 minus 3 minus 2. So the maximum value that is coming +2, and the minimum value is coming here -2. You can do this sum with the help of second order derivative test, but I said I will explain here with the help of first order derivative also. So let me explain that. This is our derivative, the intervals we have taken. Now we will take any sign or any value between -infinity and -1. If I take here -2, that -2 we will substitute here. So here if I write down g double dash -2, that means what will come here? 3 into 4 minus 1. 3 into 4 minus 1, that is 3. It is positive only. That means in this interval g double dash x is positive, and between -1 and 1 if I substitute any value, 0 is 9. So if I find here this is single dash only, we are just checking the sign of the derivative in the interval. If I check here g dash 0, so here I will put 0, that means 3 into 0 minus 1, it is negative. So what is happening? Before -1 the sign of derivative is positive, after -1 the sign of derivative is negative. So as the sign of derivative is changing from positive to negative, here it is positive, here it is negative, that means this -1 is the point of local maxima, and here also we got -1 is the point of local maxima, and the local maximum value will be given by g of -1. Similarly, we will take any point between 1 to infinity. Let us take 2 or 3. So here if I take g dash 3, it will be 3 into 9 minus 1, and it is positive. So here the sign is coming of derivative positive. That means the sign of derivative before 1 is -1 and after 1 is plus. So that means the sign is changing from negative to positive around 1. So this one will become the point of local minima, right? So either you do by the first order derivative test or you do by second order derivative test. result will remain same. So here if you people are getting confused, better you follow the second derivative test only, because it is most common test and most of the sums we will do by that method only. So you can get used to this method if you follow it, right? You can do the remaining parts of sum number 3 with this also. Find the first order derivative, equate to 0, get the critical points, and then find the second order derivative test at second order derivative at those critical points, right? Let me do sum number 4 one part. Sum number 4 is prove that the following functions do not have maxima minima. That means there is no maxima, no minima. What does it mean? Let us say the first function is given f of x is e raised to pi x. What is the derivative of the function e raised to pi x? It is e raised to pi x only. And if I have to find the critical points, I have to equate the derivative to 0. Now e raised to pi x 0. Do we have any value of x for which e raised to pi x is 0? Now we will say but e raised to pi x is not equal to 0 for any value of x. If I cannot find the critical point, it means there we cannot find, or the function do not have maxima or minima. As no critical point is there, therefore function have or function do not have maxima or minima. Okay, function do not have maxima or minima. Similarly, B part, I think that also you people can understand. Function is given log x. What is the derivative of log x? It is 1 by x, and we know this x can't be 0, है ना? This x can't be 0. Even the domain of log function, this x always belongs to the always belong to the positive integers, right? Log 0 is not defined, so we can take it as open interval, and g dash x, sorry, log 0 is 1, we can take it as closed interval also, but here the function g dash x is coming 1 by x, and 1 by x can't be 0 for any value of x, right? 1 by x can't be 0 for any value of x. What does it mean? That means the function again do not have maxima or minima. So you people can complete sum number 4 also. In sum number 5, absolute maxima, absolute minima, the small difference is there. You will find the critical points, and including the critical points and the end points of the interval, we will get that. What does it mean? For example, let us do sum number 5 second part. Sum number 5 second part is sin x plus cos x, and x is belonging to the closed interval 0 to pi, right? Let us find the derivative. First of all, sin derivative is cos, cos derivative is minus sin, and when we equate the derivative to 0, that is cos x minus sin x is 0. It means sin x is equal to cos x, and it means sin x upon cos x I can take 1. If sin x and cos x I can take 1, it means tan x is equal to 1. When tan is 1, when x is equal to pi by 4. So the value of x we have taken pi by 4, and x is belonging to the interval 0 to pi. That means pi by 4 in the second interval, how we can take pi minus pi by 4? That means the other critical point I can take 3 pi by 4 also, right? Okay, so these two will be the critical points, because tan pi minus pi by 4, tan pi minus pi by 4 will be in the second quadrant minus tan pi by 4. So this we will not consider. We have to check the sign also, because whenever tan is plus 1, we will consider that angle only. So there is only one point, that is pi by 4, and pi by 4 it belongs to the, we will write down, and pi by 4 it belongs to the given interval 0 to pi. One critical point is there, two endpoints are there, and this is our function. So as we discussed in the previous video, we will find the value of the function at pi by 4, at 0 and at pi, right? So what we will do here, we will find, therefore we will find f of 0, we will find f of pi by 4, and one more, we will find f of pi. F of 0, what is the function given here? Function is given sin x plus cos x, right? So f of 0 means sin 0 plus cos 0. Sin 0 is 0, cos 0 is 1, so we are getting here plus 1. F pi by 4, that is sin pi by 4 plus cos pi by 4, and we know 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, so it will be 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, that is 2 upon root 2, it is root 2, okay? And f of pi, that is sin pi plus cos pi. Sin pi is 0, cos pi is minus 1. So here it is clear what is the maximum value, or at which point we are getting the maximum value, root 2, and at which point we are getting the minimum value, minus. So this is the absolute maximum value and this will be the absolute minimum value. Likewise you can do sum number 5. Even in sum number 6, find the maximum profit that the company can make if the profit function is given by. So once again the same thing, it is quadratic. You will find the first order derivative, find the critical points, and then find the second order derivative to check if the second order derivative is negative at the critical point, that means that is the point where the profit is maximum. Sum number 7, closed interval is given, that means you will be finding the absolute maxima minima as we have done in sum number 5. Sum number 8, at what points in the interval closed interval is given, once again you will find absolute maxima minima. Sum number 9, what is the maximum value of the function sin x plus cos x, that means you will take the interval wherever sin x plus cos x is defined. And sum number 10, again closed intervals are given, so you will be finding the absolute maximum or absolute minimum value, right? So first 10 sums of the exercise you people can do. Thank you class.